Hey there, folks. Welcome to Advisory. I hope you guys are all doing well. Today in Advisory, we are talking about this, how to be kind to others. We've already talked about how to be kind to ourselves, and now we're going to talk about how to express that kindness outwards towards other people. This is the second half of the phrase, be good to yourself and others. And we have a very kind group of people that go to this school and that teach at this school. So the things I'm going to share with you are probably not going to be that big of a surprise, but it still is good to have reminders of these things every once in a while, especially when we get to this point in the year and things are a little stressful. So I'm going to share with you 6 big ways that we can and should show kindness to the people around us. Number 1 is to listen with empathy. This means when you are listening, you're trying to understand rather than respond. You are doing this to try to see the world through someone else's eyes. We don't have all the answers, and we only really have our perspective unless we seek to listen and empathize with what someone else is going through or what someone else is feeling. And sometimes this can be really difficult because what the other person is saying or doing or thinking doesn't really make sense to us. But when someone else is talking to you, it is an act of kindness to intentionally listen and process everything that they are saying and use it to expand your own view and your own perspective on the world. Number 2 is to take care of a need that someone has. Sometimes we have to put our needs aside in order to make someone else's life easier or better. And this is another example of why it's so important that we are kind to ourselves first, because if we're not kind to ourselves first, then we can't really afford to put our needs aside. But if you're kind to yourself in the ways that we've talked about, you're going to be better equipped to put your needs aside and to take care of someone else's. And this can be really simple things. This can be like picking up the check if you go out to a restaurant. This can be running an errand for someone when they are really busy or stressed or for some reason can't do something themselves. But sometimes taking something off someone's plate or helping them out in a material, simple way to make their lives easier or better can be a great act of kindness. Number 3 is reach out. This is the act of noticing when people need encouragement or support or even a listening ear. And instead of waiting for them to ask you for help, you reach out and take initiative to talk to them. Sometimes taking that initiative can be uncomfortable, but if someone is in a position where they need encouragement or support, they may not be in a position where they feel as though they can reach out for help. So sometimes we have to notice that and take the initiative to help them out. Number 4 is to practice Whoa, what is that word? That's a lot of letters. Conscientiousness is that word. Conscientiousness, or being conscientious.
The English language is so dumb sometimes.
And this can mean a lot of things, but when you are dealing with others, it means taking responsibility for yourself so that others don't have to pick up the slack. This is stuff like cleaning up after yourself. The simple act of recycling instead of throwing things in a landfill is an example of this. Cleaning up after yourself when you go to the bathroom or are in the cafeteria or classrooms or any public space, simply because it will make someone else's life better when they go through that public space. Another big part of being conscientious is to do good things even when people aren't looking. Doing good things not for the recognition of it, but just because you know it's a good thing. The first few letters of this word conscience is from the word conscience, which can be described as our inner voice that helps us determine right from wrong. If you're taking responsibility for yourself and you're thinking of others and how you can make other people's lives better, even if you'll never see them, you are being conscientious. Number 5 is to speak up. This is especially important when you notice an injustice or a problem. It's important to speak up about those things and use whatever power or ability or privilege you have to call out those injustices or problems, especially when others can't speak up for themselves. A very simple example of this is when you notice someone that is being mistreated by someone else, you, instead of letting it happen and watching it happen and thinking, that's not my problem, sometimes it's important for us to stand up and speak up and speak out against whatever injustice or problem that is going on, especially when the people that are bearing the brunt of that problem or injustice don't have the ability or don't feel like they have the ability to speak up for themselves. And finally, it is Thanksgiving week, and it's always a good idea to show gratitude towards others. And not just when they do something cool for you, just out of nowhere. You can go out of your way to show or tell someone that you are thankful that they are in your life. You'd be amazed at how often a good thank you or another expression of gratitude that seems to come out of nowhere can lift someone up and make someone's day. These, of course, are not the only way that you can show kindness to others, but I think a good start. Ultimately, if people are kind to themselves and they then extend that kindness to others, it builds community and strengthens relationships, and it just makes everybody's life better. And what more could you really ask for than that? So in this discussion, we're going to be talking about the connection between being kind to yourself and being kind to others. And with number 2, I want you to think about a specific way that others have been kind to you lately. And if you have time or you feel up to it, tell a short, specific story. Number 3 asks, what are some positive things that you get out of being kind to others? And lastly, I want you to look at all 6 of the things that I just shared. And kind of like we did with the many ways that we can be kind to ourselves, I want you to think about which one of these do you do often, which of them may be more difficult for you to do, and then think about which one of these things you want to actively try to do over the next couple weeks. But that is all from me for today. Tomorrow, we're going to be sharing everything that we are grateful for. So if you haven't had a chance, make sure you go to bit.ly/WTW gratitude to share something that you are thankful for so that I can share that in tomorrow's video. Be good to yourself and others, and I'll see you real soon.